You're listening to AM Now, an Accounting Matters podcast. I'm Adam Olsen.
And I'm Nicole Harger.
We have a variety of topics to hit on today, so let's just jump in and hit on the highlights. We will kick things off with an overview of the FASB's newest accounting standard, and only the third one this year actually, ASU 2023-03. We then have news from the SEC, with the Commission issuing a recent sample letter to companies regarding certain China-related disclosures.
We will then pivot to the international sustainability front and highlight several things, including the European Securities and Markets Authority's announcement on sustainability disclosures in prospectuses, the ISSB's recent proposal on IFRS sustainability disclosure taxonomy, and a big endorsement on the ISSB's sustainability-related financial disclosures from the International Organization of Securities Commissions. Adam, tell the listeners about the newest accounting standard issued by the FASB.
Happy to. So the FASB issued ASU 2023-03, which amends or supersedes various SEC paragraphs within the codification to conform to past SEC announcements and guidance issued by the SEC. So specifically, the changes were made in response to the issuance of SEC Staff Accounting Bulletin SAB 120, the SEC staff announcement at their March 24th, 2022 EITF meeting, and SAB Topic 6B, Accounting Series Release Number 280, General Revisions of Regulation SX, Income or Loss Applicable to Common Stock. The good news for everyone is that the ASU does not actually provide any new guidance, so there is no transition or effective date associated with it.
I'm sure the listeners will be happy to hear that.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's switch gears to the SEC. So in recent years, the SEC's Division of Corporate Finance has issued guidance on disclosure obligations for companies based in or primarily operating in China. The guidance covers various disclosure issues, including the variable interest entity structure, financial reporting reliability, regulatory environment in China, and corporate governance matters. The SEC is closely monitoring disclosures by China-based companies in light of the Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act and may provide further guidance. They've emphasized the importance of more specific and prominent disclosures about China-specific matters to assist investors in making informed decisions.
Specifically, the SEC has three areas companies should focus on for their disclosures related to China-specific matters. First, companies are reminded about their disclosure obligations under HFCAA. Specifically, the SEC highlighted submission and disclosure requirements for commission-identified issuers. Second, companies should make specific and prominent disclosures of material risks related to the role of the Chinese government in the operations of China-based companies. Specifically, the SEC is seeking disclosure about any material impacts that intervention or control by the Chinese government has in the operations of the business or the value of their securities. And lastly, companies may need to disclose material impacts of certain jurisdictional statutes in China. The SEC provided sample comments that they may issue to companies. These are not exhaustive, and the SEC encourages companies to consider these comments and developments while preparing their disclosure documents. Companies are urged to contact the industry office responsible for reviewing their filings if they have any questions about their proposed disclosure.
So next up, the European Securities and Markets Authority, also known as ESMA, has released guidelines for sustainability-related disclosures in equity and non-equity prospectuses. For those who may be unfamiliar, ESMA works in the field of securities legislation and regulation to improve the functioning of financial markets in Europe, strengthening investor protection and cooperation between national competent authorities. The purpose of these newly released guidelines is to support investors in making informed investment decisions, help issuers understand the disclosures regulators expect them to provide, and ensure a coordinated approach in scrutinizing sustainability-related disclosures by national competent authorities. The guidelines expect issuers to provide the basis for any sustainability-related statements, including underlying data, assumptions, market standards, labels, or third-party research. For equity prospectuses, reporting in line with the Non-Financial Reporting Directive or the upcoming Corporate Sustainable Reporting Directive should be included if those disclosures are material.
Yeah, the statement also includes guidance for prospectuses for use of proceeds bonds and sustainability-linked bonds such as green, social, and sustainability bonds. Prospectuses should contain disclosures about the use of proceeds and the evaluation and selection process of underlying projects. For sustainability-linked bonds, details about key performance indicators, sustainability performance targets, and their alignment with science-based targets and the issuer's sustainability strategy should be provided. ESMA also highlighted that it has observed some issuers including sustainability-related information in advertisements that is not in the prospectus. ESMA noted that the information should be included in the prospectus if it is material.
And continuing on, the ISSB is expected to publish proposed IFRS sustainability disclosure taxonomy this week. Now that ISSB's IFRS S1 and S2 standards are finalized, the proposed taxonomy will reflect the requirements of those final standards. Once released, the ISSB will host a webinar to discuss the proposal, and similar to all other proposals, this one will be open for comments.
And wrapping things up for this week, we have a big endorsement from the International Organization of Securities Commissions, also known as IOSCO. And for those of you who may be unaware, IOSCO is the international body that brings together the world's securities regulators and is recognized as the global standard setter for securities sector. Just this morning, IOSCO announced that it has endorsed the sustainability-related financial disclosures, IFRS S1 and S2, that we just talked about, that were issued by the ISSB.
So why is this endorsement big news? Well, as part of the endorsement, the IOSCO has called on its 130 member jurisdictions, which does include the SEC, to consider ways in which they might adopt or apply the ISSB standards in order to promote consistent and comparable climate and sustainability related disclosures for investors.
And that rounds us out for this week. For a deeper dive into what's trending in accounting and finance, check out our other podcasts on the Accounting Matters feed on your preferred listening platform. Again, I'm Adam Olsen.
And I'm Nicole Harger.
Thanks for listening to AM Now.
We'll see you next week.